Okay, we're great. All right, thanks everybody for your patience. I'm Hilary Carter. I lead research at the Linux Foundation, which I've been doing since 2021 when we first launched LF Research. And what do we do at LF Research? We produce empirical insights into open source ecosystems. We look at open source trends within industries, across different geographies, across technology domains. And why we do this is to create data and empirical insights that can inform responsible policy creation, can help decision making, and can help inform strategy. So what it is not is marketing material. And so today I'm going to show you some insights, not all of which are a terrific advertisement for certain open source dynamics within Europe. Now, I am a European stakeholder. I have European citizenship through Ireland, through my mother. My entire maternal family lives in Ireland. I go frequently. So what happens in Europe resonates very deeply with me personally. I live in Canada, where I was born, and work remotely for the LF from there. So let me dig into a few of the findings specific to Europe in terms of the state of play for European open source. I realize I structured my talk very similarly to Gab. Gab talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've decided to put a little positive spin on things to say the good, the not so good, and the great. So there's some great stuff going on in Europe. So let's begin with what's not so good. Always deliver the bad news first. So what's the bad news? The bad news is that European organizations lag in terms of open source software maturity. And that is evidenced through an empirical survey, worldwide study of 871 respondents around the world, from which we did a segmentation. Our largest demographic within this study was from Europe. 317 complete responses. So empirically sound sample size. But European organizations lack in terms of OSPO formation and formalized governance within their organizations, lacking globally behind. So I think it's 22% compared to other regions, which are up in the 30s. So that's sign number one. Also, fewer European organizations take a public position on their open source strategy. Next, the strategic value of open source software is not resonating in the C-suite in Europe the way it does for other regions. And this is significant because when you have a leader who understands open source, they're going to invest in it. Last week I was in New York at the FinTech Open Source Foundation's fantastic event in New York City, and I had a conversation with two Canadian banks. One of them is in the top 10 globally, say almost the top 5. The other one's just new to open source. The bank that's in the top 5, their CEO used to be a computer software developer. This particular CEO also invested in NVIDIA chips about 8 years ago. They have all the AI chips that they need. Digital leaders, forward thinking, lends itself very effectively to great open source and technological decision makings. But not all organizations have a digital savvy C-suite. And so it is incumbent upon us as a community to help those decision makers who don't have technological backgrounds and help translate the knowledge from research and from data into effective internal policies, investment decisions, and so on and so forth. So if your leader is not a digital leader, you're going to need to use other tools to help inform that leader's decision making. Please consider LF Research in that toolkit. Another bit of bad news, and it's related to regulation. For all of its good intentions, the Cyber Resilience Act is going to have the impact of inflation. At least a 6% increase on prices among organizations. That's only reported by 47% who have actually thought about it. The majority haven't even considered what the impact of regulatory compliance is going to mean in terms of the related costs of that compliance and how they're going to pass on those costs to the digital products and to the consumers. So it's a massive barrier for startups and innovators selling into the European marketplace. Not great. We're going to rerun this study again in a year and see if we have any better insight in terms of the impact on prices. You heard from Gab this morning about commercial open source and the leadership of the US in terms of venture capital. That's true, certainly for us in Canada. There's a gigantic amount of influence coming from US-based venture investment. We also suffer from brain drain. And so we need to come to terms with this, how we manage a robust innovation and startup ecosystem, keep talent and keep innovative companies in Europe, nurture these companies, and incentivize them to stick around. That comes at the policy level too. All right, so let's move on to the not so bad section. What's not so bad? We have open source. There's a healthy amount of prioritization in terms of open source AI and machine learning in Europe. So that's a good sign because of the more often reported than not economic benefits of productivity from AI innovation. And so it seems to be that people in Europe are understanding that opportunity and are excited about it, prioritizing. And sovereign AI is significant in Europe. There's a move to create sovereign AI systems that reflect European value, European language, European culture, European regulation. In terms of sovereign AI, I'm gonna have to increase the screen and hope I don't lose my, all right, there we go. Europe is leading in terms of making sovereign AI a strategic priority. That's good news. They're in the middle of the geographic sphere when it comes to how they're doing on making customizations within AI models. More good news is that it seems to be that the characteristics of open source as it relates to sovereign AI systems, characteristics around transparency and auditability, are well understood in Europe. So there's a lot of cultural alignment within Europe for these types of values that permeate open source ecosystems. And now what's great? Great news is that in terms of public sector funding, I think you're the envy of the world in terms of Germany's sovereign tech fund becoming a sovereign tech agency, the call for, I think 350 billion euros in funding. I mean, these are really healthy, positive signals that there's a terrific opportunity. And I wish that my government in Canada had the same kind of calls coming from to create a similar investment fund. So well done, Europe, on that. And the understanding that open source is critical, that it is the best tool in the box to achieving digital sovereignty. So there's a lot of alignment. We just have to work on a few things to help bridge the gap. So here's the big opportunity. Really, truly nurturing global collaboration, not siloed collaboration, but keeping collaboration global to bring in the best of open source. And secondly, is bridging that strategy with commercialization opportunities to help nurture economic growth and continue to conduct research to help inform decision-making and to help business leaders and the C-suite more fully invest in open source and create those returns. If there's one thing I want to come away from the banking forum last week, the finance forum, this is a bellwether. The financial services industry gets it. Other industries will get it eventually. They don't do anything where there isn't a return on investment. It's in their DNA. And we need to do a better job of understanding that ROI for other industries so that we're making the same concerted industry-specific collaborations, regional collaborations, to realize the full value of open source. So with that, stay tuned for our panel discussion. I think we're up next. Panelist Paula? Okay.
Wait. Not yet. We'll have one more speaker.
One more speaker.
Yeah. Thank you, Hilary.